three fundamental things that I always like to think of and remind people. One, keep it gentle. And the reason you want to keep it gentle is you want to stay highly motivated and you want to stay injury-free. So you want to be gentle enough that you're not getting injured. You want to be gentle enough that it's enjoyable and that you're looking forward to it each day. The other thing is keep it progressive. By progressive, what I mean is you challenge yourself each day. So in other words, you're not being so gentle that it's a wimpy workout that you're not getting any results from. You feel yourself getting a little stronger. You may not be any faster, you may not weigh any less, but you just feel stronger. Maybe it's just your posture improves. Maybe it's just your energy level improves. Maybe it's just your whole attitude improves a little bit as we get more fit and active. But keep those two things in mind. And then the third key component is make it fun. Make it enjoyable. Think of exercise as a playful, enjoyable attitude adjustment that you're making to yourself. If you're starting a running program, if you're starting a cycle program, if you're starting any exercise program, do it with a fun, playful attitude towards it. If you do, you'll maintain the consistency of your exercise. And if you've been away from exercise for a while, I highly encourage people to start a walking program. Walking, the nature of itself, if I say to you, let's go for a run, first reaction is kind of like, ooh, how far, how fast? Or if I say, let's go for a walk, it's much more invitational. You're much more invited to go for a walk. Everybody will say, yeah, let's go for a walk, and sure, I can go do that. Walking is gentler. You're going to suffer fewer injuries. You're not going to sustain the injuries that you will from running. So for people who've been away from exercise, it's a nice way to return to exercise. As we get stronger, then we can introduce running. And the way I like people to start even a running program is to do combinations of running and walking. Every athlete I know of does combinations of stress and rest. Weightlifters do it. They do sets and intervals when they go to the gym. Swimmers do sets. Track runners do sets. Whether you're a beginner, you should be doing walk-run combinations, and that's where you walk for maybe 1 minute, you run for 10 minutes, you walk for 1, you run for 10. I have people run a marathon that way. And occasionally I'll get somebody saying, yeah, but the Kenyans don't do that. Well, the Kenyans do. They call it surging, where they put in a surge and they go down to a 4-minute per mile pace and then they ease it back off to a 6-minute per mile pace. Well, that's no different than us 10 or 12-minute runners go doing our walk-run combinations. So walk-run works. It's periods of high intensity followed by low intensity. You know, if you're looking at the physiology of it, and if I put a heart rate monitor on somebody, I want them between 50 and 70% of their maximum heart rate. And people often will say, well, what does that mean? And I said, well, it means if you're a walker, as an example, I want you brisk walking. And people say, well, what's a brisk walk? I don't know. I said, it's late for an appointment type walking. In other words, if you and I have an appointment 5 blocks from here, and all of a sudden you look at your watch and say, oh my goodness, we got to be there in 5 minutes. You know what happens? You start walking. By the time you get there, you can notice your breathing, you're sticky, and you can notice your heart rate's elevated, your breathing's elevated, but you still can carry on a conversation. But you arrive there, you know you've brisk walked. That's what I mean by a brisk walk. A stroll is what we do if we're walking through the shopping center. Strolling isn't exercise. Strolling is okay to sort of loosen up. But do combinations of brisk walking and strolling, now that's exercise. Somebody who's a runner, we should be able to always do what we call the talk test. In other words, if we're at 50 to 70%, that means as we're running, we can talk. If I'm running and I'm having a hard time talking to you, I should slow down. And once I can comfortably talk to you, I'm still perspiring, I'm still sweating, I still notice my breathing's moderately there, but I can still carry on a conversation. I'm at the right pace. That pace is what we call, and you hear the sports trainers talk about it, that's a fat burning mode. You're 50 to 70%, you're getting the calorie burnout, you're increased your metabolism, you're in that fat burning mode, but you're not up near your anaerobic threshold, which is 85% effort, because when you get there, you're short of breath and you're going to slow down dramatically if you try to continue at that pace.